and I was so afraid of my dad's, I didn't want to go down the path of being my dad. You telling me that I couldn't make something work here? Tabla was a great Indian expression with, in a very groundbreaking way in New York City, using fresh green market ingredients. We had a fantastic chef who sadly died during COVID, Floyd Cardoz. Groundbreaking restaurant, lived for 13 years, probably should have closed it at year 11. We had just hit the Great Recession, and we started to lose money. It was our biggest restaurant in terms of numbers of seats. We had 283 seats on 3 different dining rooms, 2 different levels. I was so afraid of closing it, so afraid of talking to the team and saying we couldn't make the restaurant work, that I kept it open for 2 years longer than I should have. And that was the restaurant where for 2 years we had people working out of loyalty. No one was making a raise, no one was getting a promotion. And I finally gathered the courage to do what I should have done 2 years sooner. And I'll never forget the day I said, look, what if we could distinguish ourselves as much based on how well we closed a restaurant as we had with how well we had opened the restaurant? And so we started writing a list of, all right, what are all the ways that we could look back on this and say we did it the right way? And first thing was, we told our whole staff, right? Now that sounds, well, why is that such a big deal? Well, sadly, in our business, sometimes the first time a staff learns a restaurant's going out of business is the day they go to work and see a padlock on the door, because the restaurant is dead afraid that no one will work there. No one wants to stay on a sinking ship. So we told our staff a quarter of a year ahead of time, told our landlord, told the community. We invited all of the alumni of the restaurant in to come cook with us. So we celebrated the restaurant. We hosted job fairs for all of our team members, not just with us teaching them how to interview and working potentially in our other restaurants, but again, inviting famous chefs who had once cooked with us, or general managers who had once worked with us, to come in and hire our staff. We hosted 3 fundraisers. We brought in Indian chefs from around the country to do a fundraiser for earthquake victims in India. We did a fundraiser for Madison Square Park. So by the time this was done, we paid our landlord everything. We actually even paid our investors, I think they got a 0.1% return on their original investment. They got all their money back plus a couple pennies. So if you're going to close a place, at least that was the way to do it. And the biggest learning I had was there's no shame in closing. Since closing Tabla, I would say we've probably opened 15 restaurants and we've probably closed another 6. And we had to close about 3 of them during COVID. And I think that learning to fail fast and to realize that if you hadn't tried the thing in the first place, there would neither have been a success or failure. So the real failure would have been not in trying. But not everything has to go on forever. The late restaurateur Joe Baum had this great expression that I love and I don't love, but he used to say that the definition of a classic restaurant is one that can outlive its original lease. And that's, that was a goal of mine for a long, long time. And we've done that with almost all of our restaurants. I now have a different goal of my own.